Disclaimer: this video is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Some details may be incomplete or unverified. Nothing here is legal or professional advice, and all individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty. We do not promote violence or harassment. Viewer discretion is advised. If you're affected by topics related to crime or mental health, please seek professional help. We are not responsible for actions taken based on this content. If you spot any inaccuracies, feel free to leave respectful corrections. Subscribe and engage responsibly. It began with champagne and chandeliers. The ballroom of the Rivera Hotel gleamed under crystal lights, the walls adorned with gold accents and towering floral arrangements. Victoria Langley, 28, felt like she was living inside a dream. Her new husband, Julian Monroe, 35, held her hand, whispering assurances about love, wealth, and a life of endless luxury. Julian's reputation preceded him. A self-made millionaire, philanthropist, collector of rare art, and adored by social circles spanning New York to Miami. Friends and family showered Victoria with praise and envy alike. Yet, beneath Julian's tailored suits and charming smiles, shadows lingered. A slight hesitation in his eyes when asked about his business holdings. A subtle flinch when she mentioned family visits. Victoria ignored them, writing off her doubts as nerves. She didn't know then, the darkness lurking behind Julian's facade was far more sinister than mere deception. It was a labyrinth of lies, manipulation, and criminal activity that would soon engulf her life. The story unfolds in fragmented timelines. 6 months prior, Victoria noticed discrepancies in Julian's stories. Offshore accounts that never matched tax filings, business trips that couldn't be verified, and acquaintances who seemed cautious, whispering when she entered the room. 3 months into the marriage, Julian suddenly insisted they move to a new penthouse in Manhattan. "It's temporary," he claimed. "Trust me." But the security deposits were made in cash, the building manager evasive about their lease. Current timeline: Victoria sat in a small, sterile FBI office in downtown Manhattan. Detective Harper, a tall woman with piercing gray eyes, laid a folder on the desk. The air smelled faintly of coffee and antiseptic. "Victoria," Harper began, voice steady but low, "what you think you know about your husband, it's only the surface. Julian Monroe is not who he claims to be." Victoria felt her stomach drop. "What do you mean?" He's a millionaire, philanthropist, a respected man in business circles." Harper opened the folder, revealing photographs, financial statements, and social media analysis. "Julian Monroe does not exist. His real name is Julian Cross, and he has multiple identities. He's wanted for fraud, identity theft, and embezzlement across 3 countries. Most importantly, your safety is at risk." Victoria's mind spiraled. How could the man she loved, the man who had whispered promises of forever, be a con artist? Had he loved her, or was she just another pawn? Detective Harper explained the psychological manipulation. Julian carefully studied Victoria for months before proposing. Learning her habits, fears, and dreams, he created a fantasy world. A life of wealth, travel, and status, to ensnare her emotionally. Evidence suggested he may have groomed her financially, accessing her personal accounts and siphoning funds incrementally. Victoria felt the weight of betrayal like a physical blow. Her heart ached, but fear gripped her. Julian's charm wasn't the only weapon. He was intelligent, dangerous, and willing to eliminate threats. Harper added, "We believe he has a pattern. Women are drawn to him, entangled in his lies, and once isolated, exploited. You're not the first, and if he finds out we've contacted you, you could be in danger." The FBI investigation peeled back layers of deception. Julian Cross's criminal history spanned multiple continents. In London, he had posed as a tech entrepreneur, defrauding investors out of $2 million. In Dubai, he assumed the identity of a wealthy art dealer, laundering funds through shell companies. In Miami, he lived as Julian Monroe, creating an elaborate web of social influence, charity events, and media appearances to reinforce his false identity. Forensic accountants traced the flow of money. Julian had opened accounts in Victoria's name, often depositing minimal amounts to appear legitimate, while funneling her funds into offshore accounts under aliases. Digital footprints painted a sinister picture. Encrypted communications, burner phones, false emails, and social media bots used to maintain his fabricated persona. Every touchpoint in Victoria's life had been monitored, manipulated, or recorded. Victoria recalled moments that now seemed ominously prescient. The sudden disappearance of her engagement ring for repairs, never to return. The private jet trips Julian booked at the last minute, claiming surprise business meetings. The mysterious calls from women he claimed were clients, always ending abruptly when Victoria approached. Her intuition, once dismissed as paranoia, became clear evidence. Julian had been orchestrating a carefully controlled reality, designed to trap her emotionally and financially. Detective Harper and her team outlined a cautious approach. Surveillance of Julian's known residences and associates, gathering forensic evidence of financial fraud, coordinating with Interpol for his previous crimes abroad, preparing for the possibility of Julian attempting to flee or retaliate. Victoria, though terrified, decided she would face him. She could no longer be a passive victim. Harper handed her a small recorder. Everything you say or observe could be used as evidence. Trust your instincts, but stay safe. Victoria nodded. Every instinct screamed danger, but also justice. Victoria arranged to meet Julian under the guise of a romantic dinner at their Manhattan penthouse. The lights were dim, the skyline twinkling behind floor-to-ceiling windows. Julian appeared, polished and charming, as if nothing had changed. But Victoria noticed subtle cracks. A slight hesitation, a faint tremor in his fingers. "Victoria, my love," he began, voice smooth. "You look radiant tonight." She pressed play on the recorder, voice steady but firm. "Julian, the FBI knows who you are. Your lies, your crimes, they end tonight." Julian's smile faltered. Panic, calculated yet raw, flashed in his eyes. "You don't understand. Everything I've done, I did for us, for our future." Victoria's lips tightened. "You stole lives, money, and trust. I trusted you. I loved you, and that ends tonight." The confrontation escalated. Julian lunged for the recorder, knocking over a crystal vase. Glass shattered across the marble floor, echoing like gunshots. Victoria ran toward the door. Julian gave chase, but the team of FBI agents, previously positioned, moved in swiftly. Julian was subdued, cuffed, and led away while Victoria watched, trembling but resolute. In his final moments of confrontation, Julian whispered with chilling composure, "You have no idea what you've stepped into. This is far from over." After Julian's arrest, the FBI's investigation revealed more shocking truths. Julian had stolen over $8 million from various victims, including Victoria. His web of deceit included multiple identities, secret properties, offshore accounts, and falsified philanthropy. Some of his victims were still missing, raising the possibility of a broader criminal network. Victoria discovered personal items hidden in Julian's belongings, photographs of women she didn't recognize, all in staged, domestic settings. It became clear she was not only one of many victims but potentially the first to uncover his entire operation from the inside. Victoria struggled to process the magnitude of Julian's deception. Months of therapy revealed the deep psychological manipulation she had endured: gaslighting, isolation, and subtle threats to control her perception of reality, manipulation of self-esteem, and emotional dependency to ensure compliance. Reinforcement of the fairytale millionaire illusion to mask his criminal activities. She emerged stronger, determined to reclaim her identity and her life. As Victoria began to rebuild, a strange package arrived at her door. Inside was a simple envelope, black and unmarked. Inside, a single Polaroid photograph. It showed Julian Monroe, no, Julian Cross, standing in front of a private jet. In the background, a cityscape she didn't recognize, with shadows of 3 other figures she didn't know. On the back of the photo, written in precise, slanted handwriting, "You found me once, but the network lives on. Watch your back." Victoria's pulse raced. The FBI had warned her about accomplices, networks, and remaining victims. The realization hit her like a freight train. Julian's arrest was only the beginning. Somewhere, others were still out there, ready to continue the work he had started. Victoria clenched her fists, a mix of fear, determination, and resolve burning in her chest. If they think they can hide, they're wrong. I'll find the truth, no matter what. Victoria sat in the small, dimly lit conference room of the FBI field office, the photograph of Julian Cross and the three mysterious figures laid out before her. The agents surrounding her were tense, aware of the magnitude of the case. "Victoria," Detective Harper began, "we've been tracing Julian's network for months. He didn't work alone. These three individuals are known accomplices. They've been laundering money, manipulating victims, and disappearing across borders. He left instructions for them before his arrest." Victoria's stomach turned. Julian's threats weren't empty. Somewhere, unseen and calculated, his partners were still active, potentially dangerous. But Harper's next words offered a sliver of hope. "We have enough evidence to dismantle the network, but we need you to help identify patterns, behaviors, and victims. You know him better than anyone." Victoria swallowed hard, fear mixed with determination. The journey she thought had ended with Julian's arrest was only beginning. Victoria worked with the FBI for days, piecing together Julian's operation. Files, photographs, digital trails, and financial statements painted a chilling portrait. Offshore accounts linked to shell companies in Panama and Luxembourg. Fake charities and foundations used to launder money and build a facade of legitimacy. Victims across 3 continents, many of whom had no idea they were being manipulated or defrauded. Victoria's personal items were returned to her. Her jewelry, personal accounts, and documents Julian had hidden in safe deposit boxes. But the most unsettling discovery were the letters Julian had written to other women, confessional, manipulative, and eerily similar to his approach with Victoria. One letter, in particular, chilled her. "Control is the ultimate gift. They trust, they love, and they give everything. Never underestimate the power of illusion." The man she had married wasn't just a con artist. He was a master of manipulation, a psychological predator, and a criminal genius. With the FBI's guidance, Victoria agreed to participate in a controlled operation. Using her knowledge of Julian's methods, she helped design bait communications aimed at his known associates. Days stretched into nights, a tense rhythm of waiting, watching, and analyzing. Every notification on her phone sent shivers down her spine. Every call could have been a trap. Then it happened. A name she recognized, Lucas Crane, one of the figures from the Polaroid, responded to a seemingly innocuous inquiry Victoria had sent under a pseudonym. He asked about business opportunities in a private email chain. The team acted quickly. Surveillance teams moved in. Lucas's attempt to meet with an unknown investor led to a raid. And inside, agents found ledgers, passports, and electronic devices loaded with evidence implicating the network in multiple crimes. Victoria watched from behind the glass, heart pounding. Justice was unfolding, but the danger still lingered. The final piece was Julian himself. Though in prison, he maintained communication with the outside world through coded messages, attempting to instruct his accomplices. Victoria demanded a face-to-face confrontation under FBI supervision. In a stark interrogation room, Julian sat opposite her, restrained and pale, but his eyes gleamed with the same calculated intensity she remembered. "You should be scared," he said, voice low, calm. "You don't know what's coming." Victoria leaned forward. "I'm not scared of you anymore. You took everything from me. My trust, my life, my peace. But you underestimated one thing. I'm not alone." Her words weren't just defiance, they were truth. The FBI had dismantled his network. Lucas and the other accomplices were in custody. Julian's empire of deception was crumbling. For the first time, he faltered, his composure slipping. The man who once seemed untouchable now faced accountability. Weeks passed. Victoria worked with investigators to ensure all remaining victims were identified and assisted. Banks froze the remaining assets linked to Julian. Legal teams ensured restitution was made wherever possible. Victoria began therapy, confronting the trauma, betrayal, and emotional manipulation she had endured. Her journey wasn't easy. Trust had been broken, and her world shattered. But slowly, she began to rebuild. She started writing, documenting her experience not only as a form of therapy but as a warning to others. Her story became an article in a major magazine, highlighting the dangers of emotional manipulation and financial exploitation. Months later, Victoria returned to the Rivera Hotel ballroom, the same place where her life had begun to unravel. This time, she walked alone, not as a victim, but as a survivor. The chandeliers glinted above her, reflecting a life she had reclaimed, a path she had chosen herself. She thought about Julian not with fear or anger, but with clarity. His power had ended the moment she refused to be manipulated. Sitting by the window, overlooking the city, Victoria whispered to herself, "I thought I needed him to be happy, but I didn't. I am enough. I am free, and I will never let anyone take that from me again." Victoria's story, though dark and painful, carried a message for anyone who had suffered manipulation, betrayal, or deception. Trust your instincts. Love fiercely, but never lose yourself in someone else's lies. There is strength in survival, power in awareness, and freedom in reclaiming your life. Even when darkness surrounds you, your truth is your light. Julian Cross remains incarcerated, serving sentences across multiple jurisdictions. His accomplices face justice as well. Victoria, while forever marked by her experiences, has transformed her trauma into advocacy, helping others recognize and escape manipulation before it's too late. The story ends on a note of empowerment and closure. Victoria has reclaimed her life, rebuilt her identity, and emerged stronger, wiser, and resilient.